Arizona is one of the fastest-growing states in America. People are flooding in for jobs, sunshine, and opportunity. So why are more people living and dying on the streets than ever before? This isn't a story about addiction or laziness. It's about decisions made quietly in government offices, money that moves but never arrives, and systems that fail by design. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this crisis keeps accelerating, and why almost no one in power seems able to stop it. And it starts in places most people never see. Phoenix summers don't just get hot. They become lethal. 115 degrees in the shade. Pavement that can hit 180. Dehydration that shuts down your organs in hours, not days. Unlike cities where you can escape into a subway or duck under a bridge, Phoenix sprawls. There's nowhere to hide. The heat doesn't care if you're trying. It doesn't negotiate. For people living outside, every single day becomes a survival calculation. Where can I get water? Where's shade? How do I stay awake long enough to not die in my sleep? And here's what most people don't realize. Leaving isn't simple. No car, no gas money, no family in another state. You're stuck in a city that's physically trying to kill you, and you have to figure out how to make it to tomorrow. But heat alone didn't put all these people here. Here's how it happens. You get injured at work. Doctor prescribes painkillers. 3 months later, you're dependent. You lose the job. Now there's no insurance. Or your rent jumps $400 in 1 year. You miss a paycheck because your kid got sick. Eviction notice. 30 days later, you're in your car. Or a medical bill you can't pay. Your car gets repossessed. Without a car, you can't get to work. Without work, you can't afford rent. Notice the pattern? It's not about one bad choice. It's a chain reaction. And it happens fast. One thing breaks, then another. Then the whole structure collapses. And most people are far closer to that edge than they think. And once someone falls, the system isn't built to catch them. Here's the cruel irony. Most people experiencing homelessness want help. They're asking for it, but when they finally reach out, the shelter's full. The detox program has a 6-week wait list. The housing voucher ran out of funding. Timing is everything, and the system never moves fast enough. Let's say you're ready to get clean. You walk into a clinic. They tell you to come back in 3 weeks. What happens in those 3 weeks? Relapse, arrest, overdose. The moment passes. And even if you make it through, now you need an ID. But your ID was stolen. To get a new one, you need a birth certificate. To get that, you need an address. But you don't have an address because you're homeless. You see the loop? It's not that programs don't exist. They do, on paper. But they're designed for people who already have stability. If you're in crisis, they're nearly impossible to access. Meanwhile, millions of dollars are being spent. Arizona receives millions in federal and state funding to address homelessness every single year. So, where does it go? Administrative costs, consultant fees, temporary bridge programs that house 20 people for 3 months, then shut down. There are press conferences, ribbon cuttings, politicians announcing bold new initiatives. But walk through downtown Phoenix 6 months later, and nothing looks different. Here's the thing. I'm not accusing anyone of corruption. But when bureaucracy eats half the budget before a single bed gets funded, when projects sit in zoning limbo for 2 years, when solutions are designed to look good in a headline but not actually scale, that's a system working exactly as intended. It's not built to solve the problem. It's built to manage the appearance of trying. And while cities argue over jurisdiction and funding models, Entire groups of people are disappearing from the conversation entirely. When you picture homelessness, you probably think of downtown tent camps. But some of the most vulnerable people are invisible. Kids aging out of foster care, 18 years old, no family, no savings. The state says, "Good luck," and cuts them loose. Within a year, a huge percentage are on the streets. Seniors on fixed income, Social Security that hasn't kept up with rent. One rent increase, and they're living in a van in a Walmart parking lot. Families with jobs. Mom works full-time at a grocery store. Dad drives for a delivery company. They still can't afford a two-bedroom apartment, so they rotate between motels in their car, trying to keep their kids in school. Rural homelessness. It's not just Phoenix. Small Arizona towns have people sleeping in the desert, in abandoned buildings, under overpasses. But because it's not visible, no one talks about it. No services, no shelters, just isolation. These aren't the people in news reports, but they're everywhere. So what's actually working, if anything? There are things making a difference. Mobile clinics that bring healthcare directly to camps. Safe outdoor spaces where people can stay without being arrested. Tiny home villages that get people off the street fast, even if it's not permanent housing. These programs save lives. They give people dignity. They prove that when you meet people where they are, progress happens. But here's the hard truth. They're designed to help people survive, not to stop the flow of people becoming homeless in the first place. You can build 100 tiny homes, but if rent keeps spiking, wages stay flat, and evictions keep coming, you'll need 1,000 more next year. It's like bailing water out of a sinking boat while someone upstream keeps drilling more holes. Which leads to the question no one in power wants to answer. Arizona's population has exploded, but housing construction hasn't kept pace. Zoning battles delay projects for years. Labor shortages mean even approved builds don't break ground. And whenever someone proposes a shelter or supportive housing, the same phrase appears, "Not in my backyard." Residents protest. City councils cave. The project gets relocated or killed entirely. Meanwhile, landlords raise rents because they can. Wages don't rise with them. And every month, more people slip through the gap. The brutal reality is this. The crisis moves faster than any solution. And unless something fundamentally changes, unless cities prioritize housing over optics, unless programs are funded to scale, unless communities stop treating homelessness like someone else's problem, this won't stop. It'll just keep getting worse. Here's what I need you to understand. This isn't about bad people making bad choices. It's about timing. It's about gaps in systems that were never designed to handle this scale of crisis. It's about infrastructure breaking under pressure while decision-makers move at the speed of paperwork. So let me leave you with one question. If a single emergency, one injury, one eviction, one medical bill can erase someone's entire life, how many people do you know who are closer to that edge than they realize? Maybe even you. Thanks for watching.